Welcome to the last episode of Flower Circus Talks for 2021. And man, what a year this has been. So it's time to look back on 2021, the year that we didn't travel or almost didn't travel. We didn't go on holidays abroad, although space tourism started in 2021. Crazy things like a boat stuck in Suez, so we couldn't get our goods. We had big events organized that should have been organized a year before. So we had the Olympics of 2020 organized in 2021. And of course, in our own flower industry, a lot of things happened as well. And that's why I invited a lot of the Flower Circus friends to join us to look back on this year and look forward to next year. So we're going to talk, amongst others, with Mr. Plant Geek, Astomeria Ben, Willy Armelini, JD from Delhi Floor, Harold van Eendenburg, and many, many more guests. We have some of our designers as well. And of course, Jhon Koopman will join me as well as my co-host during the show. He had his nap with the first guest, so that's why I'm alone. But later on, Jhon will join me as well. So have fun with this episode. It's the man, the myth, the legend himself as our first guest for the Flower Circus Talks. Welcome.
You call me the legend, but you're the one there in your circus outfit. I'm just here in a normal lumberjack shirt and a white t-shirt. So thank you for inviting me on again very much. It's been a really, really good year.
You've been talking about my clothes, but I have seen you running around naked this year. So who's the legend here?
What did I do again?
I think it was maybe old pictures of you on the calendar.
Yeah, this was the Grubby Gardener's calendar. Do you know what? It is always good in your career to have something you're infamous for, whatever that is, because, you know, we raised more than £20,000 for charity, and it's something that people will remember you for. But of course, you shouldn't keep doing that. It makes you a one-trick pony. So, yeah. But this year, no, I haven't done any of that. That's just been reruns. This year, I've been really marveling at the fact that so many online seminars have grown. And I've been doing like seminars for like international companies, you know, that are broadcast around the world with interaction. I did one for Dell Technologies just 2 weeks ago, and
Wow.
we built a miniature ecosystem. We opened our kitchen cupboards and we used various products on our plants, you know, eggshells on orchids, you know, banana skins, kind of all of this. And to be honest, if you wind this back to 2019, there was none of this kind of initiative. Do you know what I mean? So I would say 2020, 2021 has really opened up what we can do online, what we can share. You know, I've spoken at lots of different events. Previously, I either would have to travel or work that into my calendar, or I wouldn't even be invited because of those costs of the travel and the calendar problems. But I would say for me, one of the highlights has been the great marriage of online and offline. And I think that will continue. But it's crazy in some ways that we never embraced that before. We never would have had, you know, in 2020, 2018, 2019, we never would have had a Zoom meeting with someone ordinarily, would we? But now we're very open to that, and it gets us further, and it gives us that kind of connection as well. And dare I say, this is dangerous, but we can get more done in a day as well. So kind of, whilst it's great, there's also more pressure on us as well to achieve more. So, but it's brilliant. I love how the internet has really opened up those possibilities. And of course, what we're doing here with the Flower Circus, because when did you start this? Was it pre 2020 or since then?
I started the week after COVID, actually. This all started out actually just because there were so many things happening around the world, and I wanted to
about what was happening around the world, but nobody knew what was happening. So that's why I started
US,
people from
Holland,
China,
and everything.
That's interesting. I didn't know the history of it. That's really good to know. Yeah, definitely. A few other highlights would be, you know, I've then, obviously because I haven't been able to go out and see breeders and kind of haven't had that kind of real-time connection, a lot of the breeders say Selector, Sakata, Bacon Camp, you know, they want to work with me on content to get the message out there about their products. So that's been a really nice opportunity to do some really unique stuff. And I don't know if you've seen my Beauty Cow fairy tale that I put on Instagram, which is obviously telling the story of that product, but in a really different way. You know, I'm I'm in a cozy velvet hoodie. I'm like in a swinging chair, and I'm reading the story of Beauty Cow from a scrapbook. So it's been really cool to kind of add my flair to that sort of stuff as well. And I was really pleased to win a Garden Media Guild Award for Broadcast of the Year, which is part of my work with Steph's Packed Lunch, which is a TV program where we did sensory plants. But when you think of sensory plants, you always think of, oh, a bamboo that makes a noise in the wind. Oh, maybe a smelly lavender. But no, we switched it right up. We made it really interesting. We used some new products like Senecio angel wings. We also looked at miracle fruit, which changes the flavor. Fragrant leaf geraniums, things that have awful smells and why they have awful smells, but also plants that can move. It was really a lot different to your normal sensory garden. And that's what I like to do with a lot of the broadcast and the content I do. And of course, we've got a lot of new gardeners and people that are interested in plants in front of us now. So this is our golden moment to keep their attention. So so it's been a great year. And it's almost like there's more possibilities now as well. It's very strange, the whole pandemic situation, because for many industries, it has been the worst thing. But for our industry, it's been a really great thing, apart from the beginning where it was more difficult to sell plants, in person in garden centres, etc. But of course, remember, mail order was flying, so once that had all settled down and people were then kind of coming into our industry, we had so many newcomers. It's been, I hate to say, positive outcomes of a pandemic, but we're here.
I mean, it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And what are your plans for 2022?
Well, I've been really busy in the autumn writing a book. So I'm actually working with one of the major publishers in the UK to write a book about. I'm not allowed to tell you what it's about, but I think it's really easy to guess.
I'm not even going to guess.
Unique plants, different, kind of written from my point of view as well, kind of, really to kind of get interest, from those different demographics. And I think I've always recognized that, I'm not here to appeal to people that are already gardeners. I'm not here to appeal to people that watch, the normal everyday garden shows or read the garden magazines. I'm here to pull people from different sectors, maybe arts, craft, cookery. We got the podcast, so we'll be on to series 6 of the podcast, which won't start till about mid-February, but we've actually got some kind of winter episodes where Ellen and I go off solo. We talk to a few different people. I'm going to be talking a little bit about plant marketing, actually. Also, I'm working with, I've got a guy helping me out with my garden at home because, of course, in my position, I hardly ever got time to do that. But we're kind of making it more exciting because I'm going to run some different experiments. So kind of fun stuff like, I don't know, like what happens if you've got a blueberry and you plant it into normal multi-purpose compost. Just kind of trying to debunk a few of those kind of crazy myths that we have to kind of not to prove people wrong, but almost to kind of help newcomers not panic so much about getting it wrong as well. And also I had a lot of success in the last couple of weeks selling some packets of Streptocarpus grandis seed on my website.
Seen it,
Why don't I just sell houseplant seeds? So that's something that I'm thinking of at the moment. So maybe this time next year, I'll be a tiny, tiny seed company. Who knows? But just kind of thinking that through at the moment.
Oh, is it head time? Because I'm...
Well, actually, I do have something. Ta-da! Oh, man. And because it's Christmas, I'm going to do this too.
This is going to look nice. Yeah. Harold, welcome. How is it to live in the most isolated place in the world in 2021?
Actually, it's pretty good, Jhon. It's pretty good. Yeah, before the borders opened last week, we had virtually no COVID here, so we could basically do whatever we wanted. You just couldn't travel, and no one could travel to Queensland, or you could travel away from Queensland, but it was hard to get back. But since last week, the borders have opened, so for domestic travelers predominantly. So slowly the cases are rising now. So who knows? A couple more months, we might be in the same situation as Europe. No one knows.
Yeah, let's hope not. But nobody knows yet. But
No.
I think there are worse places in the world to be stuck.
There's
Let's put it this
definitely
way.
worse places in the world, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, but people were stuck, but the Greens were still traveling all over the world, I think.
Yeah, I mean, since last time we spoke, the cargo situation sort of stabilized for a long time. So there's some more regular flights coming into for us Brisbane predominantly, but we also had to start flying product out of other cities just because we couldn't get the space out of Brisbane.
Yeah.
But there was a sort of a new balance found, and that's the one problem with all the borders opening up. So Victoria, New South Wales, they are allowing foreign travellers back into the country without quarantine measures. Queensland doesn't do that yet, so you still have to go into quarantine for 14 days.
Yeah.
So that is a major disruptor in the cargo situation, because airlines are not willing to put extra flights into Brisbane because there's no passengers allowed in, or very little. There's a lot of people flying out of Brisbane. They are taking the risk, hoping that by the time they come back from their overseas holidays or family visits or stuff like that, that the quarantine measures will be gone by then, because the Queensland government keeps promising us all these when we meet certain vaccination targets, that measures are going to be relaxed. So that's a big problem for us, because as good as that is for people to go and see their family, every passenger that gets on a flight also takes a 30-kilo suitcase, or a 25 or 30-kilo suitcase, which means there's less freight capacity, and then you get another sort of supply and demand situation where the airlines are just jacking up the freight rates. I mean, almost every week you get 1, 2, sometimes 5 calls. Look, to this destination, price goes up with X amount. I mean, the other day I got a phone call for Europe, and the increase is almost as much as what we used to pay pre-COVID to fly the stuff to Europe, and that's just the increase.
Yeah.
And there might be another one next week. Who knows?
But how's the local market? I mean, have you been looking more towards the local market as well?
Well, we've always serviced the domestic market as well, and the domestic market has been really strong over the last 2 years. And because as much trouble that we have exporting from Australia, there's also the import side is just as difficult, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, the domestic market has been really strong, but traditionally premium greens we are over 90% geared towards export. So even though the domestic market is nice and strong, that definitely doesn't compensate for what we're losing overseas.
No.
But it's good. We'll take it, of course.
Yeah, and 2022 is going to bring us, I think, weddings for 3 years, because we skipped 2020, 2021. So 2022 is going to be.
That's going to be
massive.
I mean, for the domestic floral industry, I mean they've had great years, of course, like all florists around the world, I think. But it's the insecurity, I think, that is holding a lot of things back as well. Even for me personally, I don't really want to go to a different state at the moment, because you never know. You might land, get out of the plane, and our premier here has decided she's going to lock the borders back up at midnight, and you got to be back. Otherwise, you need to go into quarantine for 14 days. So we need clarity, and we need a sort of a stable situation. I think the world can deal with COVID, and we can live with whatever restrictions or mask mandates or whatever it is, as long as we meet the conditions, we can do what we want. But the insecurity of are we going back into a lockdown and or not, and should I not? That's what's holding a lot of people back, and that's also what's preventing, especially the cargo situation, from returning to a normal situation, I think.
But yeah, who knows what 2022 is going to bring us? Hopefully, more goods than 2020 and 21.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive. It's going to be challenging, I think, again, especially predominantly on the freight side of things.
Yeah.
And I'm not so much worried about Australia. Like I said, our main market is the export market.
And production wise, I mean, it's going as it is probably.
Yeah, production wise, well, there's always a challenge here in Australia. It's either on fire or it's flooded, or there's always something going on. That was pre-COVID, and that was during COVID, and there will be post-COVID. That'll always happen. Our biggest challenge is finding staff at the moment, which is again, I hear those same stories around the world, but that definitely goes for us as well. That's very hard.
Any goals or positive things to look forward to 2022 from your side?
Yeah, well, it all depends, of course, on what's going to happen with COVID and the new strains coming out. But we are definitely looking forward to starting to travel again and being able to visit our overseas customers and see how the markets have changed and how hopefully we can slot in and use that to our benefits.
Yeah.
We were planning to be at the show this year in Vijfhuizen.
Yeah.
That obviously didn't go. I mean, you guys luckily had the show, but there was no way for us that we could actually go there and attend. So I'm still hoping that in 2022 we can be there. That'd be good. So there's a few things to look forward to. And
okay. Yeah, great. I mean, we keep positive, and I think for the floral industry, in the end, we have a lot of challenges, but luckily our industry is actually flourishing during the whole pandemic.
Yeah.
So that's something we need to take post-COVID as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. I mean, there's a lot of people, or more people than ever before, that are used to working through the internet now. Also, florists have more experience in how to do this through websites and taking orders that way and delivering. And so hopefully that's going to be good after COVID. And a lot of, I mean, people that never used to buy online, they're all buying online now. So if we can retain some of that growth that we've seen over the last couple of years, then who knows, we might come out stronger on the other end.
Oh, for sure we will.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Harold. I wish you all the best. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and your family.
Yeah. Same to you, Jhon.
Hopefully to see you soon in real life, so we can finally drink a beer again.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. Thank you very much, and a Merry Christmas to you and to everybody that's watching this video.
You're
Very
pain in the ass.
Sorry?
You're a regular pain in the ass.
Who are you talking to now, Jhon? Because there are three people, and all three look surprised. But maybe it's the wife. It's the wife you're telling it to. Ostermedia, Ben, back in the show. How are you, first of all? How was 2021 for you?
Yeah, pretty mental, pretty crazy, but we navigated it with strong efforts to navigate it, but we got there through determination and strong will, and all of our, proud of all of our team here at Croston's Flower Nursery. Really proud of everyone.
So looking back on 2021, what was the biggest thing or achievement this year? Maybe it was with the British Flowers Rocks, or I mean, you did a bit of a tour. You couldn't do everything, of course, but you went on tour.
Yeah, I went on tour around the world via things like we're doing. So I met sort of beautiful people like yourself, Jhon, and a lot of people around the world spreading the British Flowers Rock message, or local sustainable flowers rock, whatever country you're in. You need to be supporting your local flower growers. But yeah, the message has really got out there this year, big time. A lot of people have found me, like yourself, and thanks for inviting me back on to do this sort of portion of the show. So I've just been very grateful. People have understood my message, and it's got out there a bit more. And the message is growing, the campaign's growing, and next year I've already got 40 or 50 talks lined up already.
Wow.
So yeah, it just continues. Yeah. Yeah.
The
But I think that's
crusade continues.
the biggest achievement is navigating the year, just every day, just trying to get every bit of the day worthwhile, get it out your system. And the bonus has been, say, meeting people like yourself, really nice, good. There are nice people out there,
Yeah.
and just puts your faith back in people again. So big thanks to you guys and a lot of other people that have supported me, because us flower growers, we work dang hard, and we do need support from everyone. So
Yeah.
it's been really, really, I think that's the biggest thing in 2021 is people have really shown their support and efforts. So it's been great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all what this taught us. We're all in it together. So the only way to get out of it is together as well.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2022 already 40 talks lined up for you. So again, a very, very busy year. Of course, running the farm as well. So looking good for you next year.
Yeah. So I've actually put in planning permission for another half acre of greenhouse.
Okay.
So that hasn't been accepted yet, but it could be a year of getting that sort of in planning. But next year, obviously, we'll still be, maintaining, harvesting millions of stems of our British bad boys, our Ulstrom area. Still rocking the British Flowers Rock campaign, and I can only just see another crazy, busy sort of year, trying to get through it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't see much changing this side of the water,
No, me neither. But I think at least we have some experience now on how to act and react on this. So that helps us a lot as well.
Exactly. I've been lucky. I've got a lot of contacts in 2021, a lot of new people, and they've been enjoying my content, enjoying the flowers, and hopefully they'll keep on supporting us for many years to come. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, as long as you keep telling those great stories and making those beautiful flowers, that for sure will work.
Some of your listeners have already heard me, but I actually live on the flower nursery, so it's not a bad life, So it could be worse,
Yeah, and I think we are in an industry that's still running. Although we had a lot of problems, although we had a lot of challenges, but we're still going, and more people show interest in flowers. So I think we're quite lucky with our industry, although it sometimes doesn't feel like that. But yeah, that's the way it is.
Yeah, I think we've got some very all of us are hardworking sort of people that care, I guess, and we always find a way. We know we're resilient, and we're adapting. And even though there could be already this Christmas there's less events, there's less weddings, there's less hospitality where a lot of flowers are used, but obviously we supply direct to the public and the farm shops and lots of other people that still want flowers. They want flowers to be sent to say, oh, I'm missing you this Christmas, or Happy New Year, or whatever. So we're lucky that the industry we grow, or the products we grow, people really desire them and want them to say, I'm sorry, or I love you, or whatever. We have the romance that goes with the flowers, which is good. It's I mean, look at flowers as they really want them still. I've started supplying people that you'd never think would want flowers. A lot of my friends, male friends or whatever, that never had them before, they're still having them, and a lot of other people that also still learning about trying to buy more sustainable local flowers within their own countries. It's still amazing that people don't know what's going on with the industry in terms of the environment and things. So there's potential for growers in country to still do more business and grow more flowers, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just need to put the message out like you are doing. I mean, that's a fantastic thing you're doing.
Yeah.
But it's not for every grower. I mean, sometimes they're so in love with their product, they don't go out of their greenhouse. They don't have 40 talks in a year. So you've
Yeah.
got you've got the pressure of the whole UK flower industry on your shoulders.
Yeah, but I keep busy and I just do what I can do. I
Yeah.
just do what I can do. There's only 24 hours in a day, and I try and use them all up.
Yeah, no, you're doing a real good job. So yeah,
Yeah.
I wish you all the luck for 2022. If you have some news, share it with us as well on Flower Circus. And I want to wish you still a couple of days with hard work before Christmas. Enjoy the Christmas, and hope to see you soon.
No worries. Take it easy.
As we can see, Jhon is trying to twerk for us, but it's not really working yet.
What is Jhon trying to do?
To twerk.
To
You don't know
twerk?
you don't know what twerking is, Jhon?
I know what squirting is, but that's not the same, probably.
That comes after twerking. So, JD, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you, Jhon.
How's the
How are you?
Christmas feeling?
Well, it's best Christmas ever. It was early this year because I got a newborn, so that's gonna be my present this year. Well, and from now on.
Is it your first, Juan?
Yeah, he is my first. His name is Clemente. He's 1 month old, and I haven't slept in about 1 month.
Yeah, but you haven't been sleeping, but I know why you haven't been sleeping. You were playing games.
No.
Yeah, look, you were playing games with your son.
Well, it was the only way I could play games and take care of him because
Yeah.
my wife is like, "What are you doing?" So yeah, it worked.
And he
He
won.
beat me though.
Yes?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Not because I let him. It's because I'm
No,
pretty
just-
bad at it.
Just
Yeah.
you suck at it.
Yeah. Oh man, I think this 2020 and 2021 let us that high prices, not a lot of availability, but orders are coming. I mean, all the ends.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's asking for flowers. I mean, the US market is really booming.
Yeah, very in big time, and I don't know how prices are moving because from the breeding link is hard to know what the prices are. I have talked to some of our customers, and they said that some retailers are asking for just trying to keep the same price because the dollar it's high right now.
Yeah.
So people here are making money out of that, but everything is more expensive now, like freight, like even sea containers, which is a lack of them right now. But air freight is really more expensive, and more than 100%. So
And what
so
about
I think what's that?
the labor? Is that also becoming more expensive?
Well, in Colombia, it's not because it's more expensive, but it's because the lack of it. I mean, we need more people because us particularly, we don't have that problem, but farms with 400, 600, 1,000 employees are struggling with the people.
It's the same in South America as it is in Europe.
Yeah. Well, what is going on right now in America, I think, is that because all this help with the governments and stuff, people just don't want to work. Here in Colombia, our president already said that the increase for the minimum wage is going to be higher than 10%. So next year is going to be hard for the flower business here in Colombia to keep all those employees, because it's going to be 10% more. So, but the industry is well, and as we were saying before, orders are flying. Everybody needs flowers, and everybody's increasing in area. So I think in the coming years we're gonna have a lot of flowers, and I think the price is gonna be better because
Farms are planning to expand as well, so they want to grow bigger.
yeah.
Okay, so that's, and
I
when
mean,
is
big
that?
groups already are like increasing in. I'm not gonna say names, but some of them have increased only on chrysanthemums by like 20 hectares, another one 50 hectares, and I heard that in roses some of them increased 500 hectares.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's-
I'm just saying South America, not only Colombia. Because of this pandemic, growers start to doing something different, like thinking outside of the box, and they started selling flowers in the country. People in Colombia particularly didn't really know what kind of flowers we grow, because we sent everything overseas. And now, because of this pandemic, everybody get used to have flowers on their house. This is the same thing that happened with coffee, that we are coffee producers. And like 20 years ago, with the Juan Valdez coffee shops, they started to put this beautiful and tasteful coffee here in our places. So we started to learn how to drink coffee, because if you wanted to have 25 years ago, you wanted to have a really good coffee, you had to go to United States or France or, I mean, Europe. And I think this is the phenomenon that is going to happen with flowers now.
2022, more Colombians are going to buy flowers.
I hope so, but definitely more Americans are buying more flowers more often. I kind of say that the motto of call flowers, but that's what's going on right now. Everybody's buying flowers for everything. If before they only used to buy flowers for the special occasions, but now people are used to be at their homes with their beautiful houses decorated with beautiful flowers. So I think that's gonna stop. That's gonna stick like forever.
So, anything new coming up from Delhi Floor 2022?
Well, this 2021, we really concentrate our efforts on sustainability. And because we think this is very, very important. I mean, find sustainability. And for this reason, we promote the growth of the floriculture sector, framing in sustainability, where the generation of economic resources is in accordance with environmental respect. To elaborate on this, is that we're the first floriculture company in South America with this new stamp of neutral, carbon neutral certificate. We got it 3 months ago, and now on this January we're gonna be we set ourselves the objective of minimizing the generation of waste and maximizing its use. So therefore, we carry out and implement recycling, reuse, and reduction campaigns for single-use plastics. And now we are certified by Plant Propagation Material by Global GAP, which stands for Good Agronomical Practices, and the voluntary add-on of Global GAP, which evaluates social practices, the company in aspects related to the health, safety, and well-being of the worker.
That's really good, really cool.
Are you one of the first companies who is Global GAP certified, Juan?
Yeah, well, in flowers. I mean, in anything that has to be with it. Well, because food companies and chocolate, all this, they have the stamp, but we are the first one. We are the first one in flowers.
In Colombia.
In South America, in Latin America, actually. And we're gonna resume our traveling. We're not traveling this January because there was a show for the for Albertsons on January, but I think they're going to do it virtually. But in January, we're going to have January 31st, we're going to do our first show of all inside show of the year, which is going to be the traveling daily show, and it's going to be for Valentine's. I mean, we haven't decided yet if we're going to have it as last year that we drove this little truck through the city, showing the people the varieties, or if we're going to rent a hotel.
I think the truck is a great idea.
I know we did it before, and everybody loved it. But the thing is, people usually like to drink, so they like to go to the ballroom, see the varieties, eat something, and then have a drink.
Yeah.
This way we could do it the same, but not drinking. And if we bring like wine and beer and stuff, they are gonna be allowed to drink. But then I have to drive the car, so it's not fun for me.
That's the main reason.
It's about you.
Also.
Do you know you're editing this?
So what do you think, Caroline? Isn't it horrible talking to these two guys or what?
Look.
Oh, it's our own Friese stamboek designer. Stinstra.
She's there.
Yeah. So, Geertje and Max, we are doing a special with Flower Circus Talks. So we want to know how 2021 was. Your highlights of 2021. I think, Max, you were the designer that was traveling the most of all designers in the world. Somehow you managed with your French Belgium passport to fly all over the world. Not all over the world, but you've been in a lot of places.
Yeah, I've been actually, yes, it was 2021 was of course less than before, but I think it was the beginning of new things. So yeah, I've been to Barcelona, Netherlands. I visit a lot of part of Netherlands, Dublin, France. Yeah, so it was actually a busy year. So it was good.
Yeah. And Geertje, you were in one part of the Netherlands where Max maybe hasn't even been yet.
Are you living in Dublin then, Geertje? Because I understand a lot of Netherlands, Dublin, but whatever.
I think it's getting too late for Jhon. He needs to get a rest.
Yeah.
It's time to sleep.
Yeah.
I missed the app during the.
Yeah. So, Geertje, what were your highlights for 2021?
We made with several florists a big showroom for Dijk Natural Collections, give online demonstrations, the Chianti shoots, Christmas shoots. We make several books for to design.
So, and what are the plans for 2022? And let's start with Geertje this time. Ladies first. Or do you want to think about it?
No.
Yeah, not so much. I was Christmas World in Frankfurt. But it's cancelled. Next year, I think some give lessons on schools. Maybe some photo shoots and. I work for Silka also for garden centers. We make presentations for garden centers, and that's it for now. I know, but yeah.
Hopefully some online shows again.
Yeah.
Of course, and maybe some on-site shows as well. Let's hope that in springtime we can do some things with Max. It's still in the planning in March together with Jhon to go to Lyon.
Yeah. 2022 start to be really busy for me because of demonstration. I have also a master class in France in Paris. I have some projects also in Belgium. I have still the school in Brussels. It gives me a lot of work. And online demonstration and real demonstration. And so it's like for me, it's fine. It's not big. It's not big travel, but
yeah, Geertje, you need a French passport as well.
Let's say let's say we can travel as we did in 2018 and 19. Where are you going to get the time to do the traveling we used to?
I will manage it. There is always time. You know, I just come back, I take one day to change my luggage and leave again for another country like I did before. It just, I think it's a question about organization, but for the moment, I don't plan a lot of travels because we don't know. I think 2022 about travels will be still complicated, but I'm not complaining for 2022.
I feel a little bit like Christmas, like with the gold and the red. But Martin, you look fantastic, and Jhon, thank you for the contrast. So Martin, welcome.
I'm the middleman since my birth. I will take you to my dish. This is a risotto with eggplant and onion, sea fruits, and the best part of the pig, and that's not his dick.
Because that one is cut off.
I cannot believe this. Within 1 minute, it already turns into a dirty joke.
So, Mark, 2021. Can you share some of the highlights that you had this year?
Well, it has been a really, I have to say, a really nice year. I still had lots and lots of jobs to do. So as far as I'm concerned, it was a good year for me. I did some wonderful things. I also went to Ecuador and Miami to do some work. So the traveling, although it was really hard to get there, still went on.
Yeah.
Not as much as I used to do before. But here in Holland, it also picked up with lots of jobs. I also started working in different flower stores that I really enjoyed very much.
Back to the roots.
Back to the roots. Well, I never left the roots. So that's always a good thing to remember. That, keep close to where you are from and what you did in the past. And that helped me also this year again. I also did a lot of interesting TV commercials, and it's a different ball game, but still, all together, I had a really good year.
Okay.
And I hope I can continue that for next year as well, with a lot more travel, because that's one thing I really missed this year.
We have another guest as well, Mark, and I think you know her.
Oh my God! Hi there.
Hello. Are we live, or is this just between the three of us?
It's the between the three of us for now. I think we're not live, but who knows?
Look, I made my festive baubles, and I'm wearing my jumper.
Yeah, looks great.
You're already ready for it, for the Christmas days.
Ish.
Sort of.
Sort of. Well, if we don't keep having variants, I'll probably get there. But just at the moment, every single day seems to be something new to think about.
By the way, Carrie, we have Gordon Ramsay with us as well.
Hi, Caroline. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
You're welcome. I'm just preparing Christmas dinner, because Christmas is coming early this year.
As long as it's coming, I don't care.
Yeah.
In my home office, which is now probably going to be my permanent office. Ever see myself going back to my offices?
No, that's
Yeah, I think there's some truth with it. How was your 21, Caroline?
I think compared to many, I had it very lucky. I have had some downtimes. I have found it very challenging watching my sector go through some pretty rubbish moments. If I'm brutally honest, I am more scared for 2022. But I don't know quite why. I think it's actually going to be a lot harder. I think that, and particularly on the supply side, we're worrying about prices at the moment, but nobody seems to talk about whether there's actually going to be enough flowers again next year, if growers will actually plant, if they can afford to plant, with gas prices, the problems with labor, the fact that the big box companies are taking huge amounts. I'm really sad you've all gone terribly quiet when I started.
No. I mean, we
Let's
just
cheer Caroline up. I think growers are quite happy with 2021 because a lot of growers already covered up their gas prices. Labor, it can be a thing, but it's also in bars, cafes, restaurants, and wherever. So that's something we have to cope with the rest of our lives, that labor will be not only scarce but also expensive. And the only thing is we have to convince, I think, our customers that prices go up and that they will do the same to their customers. So the consumer has to go into higher price levels than it did, and that's not only in retail, but it's also in the gift shops and the flower shops and whatever. I think that's the same. And there is an opportunity for all.
I think you can always put a positive spin on it, but I'm sorry, on this one, I am going to say that I think a lot of florists, not just in the UK, around the world, are going to struggle. And it's all very well. And, look, I am the woman who puts up posts constantly. Put your prices up. Don't be afraid. You don't need to be cheap. I can do that till I am blue in the face. But if you've got consumers who are taking hits on their electricity, on their food, on their mortgages, etc., then there will be a finite limit to how much we can put the prices up. And the middle market florists, and it is particularly the middle market florists, I think will struggle and will suffer. There's being bullish and there's being Pollyanna. Pollyanna, the sort of person who just pretends all is wonderful and nothing is going to go wrong. And I would far rather not quite be the prophet of doom, because I don't think it is doom if you pull your finger out, and it is going to be about marketing and PR and really being aggressive. And if we're honest, a florist is not always that person, because a florist is a busy person, often on their own. They don't have time to do all the things that companies like Bloom and Wild, etc., have the capability of, and they are stealing customers, and that does frighten me. So I'd rather be a slight prophet of doom and help people be survivors than pretend everything is going to be wonderful, because I don't think it is.
No, but
I'd love to be proved wrong. I really would.
No. Caroline, I think you're right. There will be some struggling, and maybe major struggling for a lot of people. But there are also a lot of opportunities for people like us and the marketeers in general, but also the producers, and also I think the florists, to especially now make the difference between you and somebody else. And I think this is the time. And if you can do it on socials, you can do it in real life. And sure, it won't be easy, but I think it's possible. And there is money there's more than enough money, and the only thing is how can you get it your way instead of going it into holidays or whatever. And it will be a sort of battle between different branches, bars, cafes, restaurants, florists, holiday, but I think it's possible, and I like to stay on the happy side of life, and I'm not a sort of I didn't know about Pollyanna, but I like to see the opportunities, and if something can go right, it's Murphy's Law as well. Murphy's Law is just saying things can happen, and it's not always bad what happened.
But would there be a solution in that the time now is come for the middle floristry to make that leap forward to become a better florist or a more upgraded florist?
Absolutely. I mean, we find this in and because I connect with the GFG group, the Good Florist Guide group, more because it's 160 florists, but generally in the sector, we have florists who have, with the encouragement of their group and peers, put their prices up and are still having to turn business away. So yes, it can happen, but there are certain places where there just is not the disposable income. So there will be, I think there will be a fallout. And that in some ways is great because we need to get rid of the rubbish florists. But the problem is this time round, I'm seeing more than adequate florists struggling because they're either getting tired, they want to retire, they have just had enough. I mean, the last 2 years has been exhausting.
Florist is like a grower 10, 20 years ago. They're not only growing flowers, they have to manage the company as well. And while growers, they either stopped because the company got too big and they didn't like what they were doing anymore because they were doing all of the things except for growing flowers. But some of the florists will go that way as well. They will not be making bouquets anymore. They will be managing the company with marketing, with the bookkeeping, everything.
I think florists are going to have to learn that there is a different way to do business, and you either are a one-man woman band who literally does everything, but you accept that your limitations, that your turnover can never go like that, or you say, no, I am now going to aggressively go for it, and I'm going to put in strata, jobs and functionality, and I'm going to go for it. And those are the florists that I'm going to be focusing on helping. But I think 2022 is going to be the year where all businesses or all independent businesses, be they florists or gift shops or whatever, are going to have to seriously think how they are going to move forward. This whole work from home and the whole 15-minute community where people are now actively looking to have a 15-minute community where they literally takes them 15 minutes to get to school, to the doctors, to the shops, to the pub, to the restaurant, and that's their circle. Well, actually, marketing to a 15-minute radius is brilliant, and it's something that none of the big players can do. So independent retailers, and let's specify florists, have a huge USP, but it's how we help them and how we help them realize that that's what they're going to do. And I see that as my goal for 2022.
Now that I see Jhon cooking his dinner, is two key ingredients that florists will have is that actually they can be really personal in communicating with all the people they are visiting the florist, and also that they are creative in finding solutions, to do business.
and paying attention to what we're buying.
Yeah. So I've got a neighbor who's drilling again. So
yeah, you got termites over there or something.
Yeah,
Woodpeckers. This is the same guy. When you interviewed me, or when I first watched the show, you had termites or somebody was making a lot of racket.
Yeah,
that guy's after you.
Yeah, he really is. He wants to be in the show, I think.
Well,
maybe you should invite him.
Yeah. So Martin, welcome. Please tell us the highlights of 2021.
Maybe it's first to introduce himself for the audience. Is that a thing, Jhon, or not?
Yeah, let's start with that, Martin. Sorry.
No problem. Thanks, Jhon, first for the invitation. It's really nice to be part of this special episode. And my name is Martin Huisman. I'm working for Jhon Jongplants. And for the people who don't know it, we are a breeder and a breeder of the Phalaenopsis orchid. And we're located in De Lier in the Netherlands. And I'm responsible for the communication and the PR. And yeah, when you asked me to join this episode, yeah, I already asked you, do I need to wear something special? And he said, yeah, maybe it's nice to have something for Christmas. So yeah, I was looking in my wardrobe and I found this one. And yeah, before we went in the lockdown, I bought this one. So yeah, we're going to make a party of it.
I also want to see where you are at the moment because it looks really beautiful. It's not just a place.
Yeah, I'm sitting in our Jhon Trend Lab. And for the people who know our company, like you, Jhon, we always try to inspire our customers with the latest trends. And we're working the latest trends in Phalaenopsis orchids. And for that, we are working together with trend partners. And the trend partners can be companies who create labels, can be companies who create pots or other materials. And for that, we make a combination. And at the back here, we have the amazing, is one of our trends which we present here. And that's the amazing orchid love trend.
Okay.
Orchid love.
Yeah.
Tell something more about that, Martin.
Yeah, as you know, we are living in strange times, and yeah, what the world needs is love. And in our opinion, the world will look so much better with some extra love, and of course with some extra love from our orchids. So our team in general here in the Jhon Trend Lab is love. So we have the amazing orchid love, we have celebrate orchid love, and we have true orchid love. So we're working with 3 themes.
Wow.
And are these 3 themes, is that in color or in shapes or in experience?
It's in experience, and like in the amazing orchid love right behind me, that's the most exclusive, the most it's almost like a treasure room. So we collected the most special varieties over there. And I can show you something if you want.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So like here we have the very beautiful Big Lip collection. And I'm really proud of this one because it's the Aprillian. And it's a kind of a gift for my 40th birthday this year. So, and I'm born in April. So Aprillian is a kind of my orchid. So yeah, for me, it's a special one. Here we have like this one with the prints. As you can see.
Yeah.
What can I, here we have the smaller one with the smaller Big Lip, and we make the combination with the pots and the extra material to make it it's just for some inspiration to make it more make it more special.
Okay. I mean, and you also have the one with the smell, or isn't it
the fragrance one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the fragrant one.
yeah,
Is
the
it?
fragrance one. We always also have it, and that's in another part.
Okay, sorry I made you run, but
Oh, of course. Yeah, we have the Odorion, and
yeah.
here we have the Odorion, and it's nice to tell that the Odorion was recently. It was nominated for the prize from Flora Holland, the Glass Tulip Award, and we
Okay.
won the second prize with it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're really proud of the fact to be in. To won the second prize for it.
Yeah, and is it something we're going to see more? Is it something Sion is aiming for, more frequent phalaenopsis?
Yeah, here we have another one. This is a quite new variety, and it's also a scented one. So if you want to talk about new goals, new things in future, scented orchids will be an important thing.
Okay, that's really cool. I mean, because we already have so many different colors, so many different lengths and heights, shapes, and everything. So the fragrance, adding that one, that's really cool.
Yeah, we hope so. And scent is emotion, fragrance is emotion. So adding some extra to the plant, I think it will be a very good added value to the already nice orchids. So because the color of the Odorion is very special, but now with the scented one, it's more emotion.
And any other new things coming up for the near future, Martin?
We see the development in the big lips, like I already showed you, the smaller ones. So the multiflora varieties will be also available in the big lip, and of course the more branches of the multiflora. So it's like having an orchid bouquet on your table. This year, we were really happy to have the marketing breakfast. So we did a marketing breakfast for the marketeers of our clients. And we had a small drink for our customers as well. And we had the open days. So that was really some highlights during this year.
Yeah, and let's hope we can do that next year again. Hello, Wim. Oh, Wim is doing it in Morse code. I think he's SMSing with Wim. Wim is sending an SMS how it was. The one and only.
The one and only William Leedy.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the Jhon show.
Yeah.
Hey, well, what happened in 21? Jeez, a lot went on. Obviously,
you moved.
I moved. That was a big deal. But I'm happy. It's a nice place up here. I love this place up here. It was time to get out of Miami. I've lived there 40 years, or most of my life, it seems. So the weather's a little nicer here. Not so tropical, which is fine. But it's a beautiful place here, right downtown Orlando. So let me tell you about 21. 21's been interesting for me, just because these sort of silly things saved my ass. These Zoom and the video calls, because and you started it because you interviewed me, and I said, hey, I can do this. I know I can do this. I know people. I can do that.
If he can do it, I can do it for sure.
Well, I knew enough about it to say, okay, I'll learn it. If the kids can go to school on Zoom, I can figure something out. So for me, anyway, Zoom was and these ability to do this has been a real value, and it will continue. People say, well, I want to go back to the old way. I said, yes, but this is a really good way to communicate.
Yeah.
Here we are talking. You're in Holland, and I'm here, and we didn't have to leave our respective rooms, perhaps, our countries. So, but in terms of the business, wow, obviously the pandemic is driving the bus here, but the bouquet makers were needing products so badly that they were buying up every farm that they could find, right?
Yeah.
So that continues, and we don't hear about most of them. But every time I go to a show, if you saw Elite's booth, you kept noticing he keeps adding brands to his booth because he's buying everything that he can buy. And so as well as the other bouquet makers, and they're buying quality farms. They're not buying farms that are desperate, perhaps, as many were during the didn't quite know what was going on during the first days of this. So that's been a real development, and of course that product that would normally be going to perhaps the typical chain, going from a grower to a importer to a wholesaler to a retailer. That production suddenly ended up in the supermarket, and so that's put a little bit higher value and more demand on the traditional chain, and so that's been really a big development going on. And on the flip side of this, on the state side, obviously the wholesalers that were in trouble or wandering around trying to figure out what the hell they were going to do during COVID. Some of them sold out to the bigger ones. So there's been, continued consolidation of the wholesale florist here in the U.S. A couple keep getting bigger. There's 4 or 5 or 6 big ones. I don't know. Again, you don't always hear about them. I hear about them after the fact, or if people are nice to me as a journalist, they send me a little tip that it's happening. So that's going on. I would think, the word of 21 is burnout. And I say burnout because everybody I talked to, I was in Miami a couple of weeks ago at an event, and the people are just saying, look, it's been like Valentine's every day for a year or two, and people are just sort of burned out. Labor is a big issue. People can't get labor. You go to a restaurant here, I don't know about there, perhaps the same. You're in lockdown there, so maybe you can't get to a restaurant.
Nope.
Around here. You can go into a restaurant and, you see tables and they say, okay, I need a table for 4. Well, we don't have any tables right now, but I see tables. Yeah. Well, we have tables, but no servers or the cook's not here, or we can't find a cook. So there's been, and that's persisting throughout the whole chain, wholesalers and retailers and everybody's sort of struggling for labor. My family's trucking business, a third of the trucks are parked, I believe, because they can't find drivers.
Wow.
Again, that exasperating the supply chain of floral. So it's been a challenging year, but a lot of opportunities, as you can see. People take there's a lot of opportunities when in good and bad times.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, packers are buying the better quality farms. Does that also influence the people buying in supermarkets that they see that they get better products, so they keep on buying in supermarkets?
Yes, and flowers are fresher, I'm going to suggest, throughout the whole distribution chain, because nobody's storing flowers. As flowers are coming in, going out, maybe there's particular varieties or colors that aren't as popular as others, but the flowers, and I go to the grocery store. My wife drags me there, and whatever I do, I watch who's buying flowers, and people are walking out with flowers. I didn't recognize Jhon, the other Jhon, because he was out of uniform. So, and
okay.
And normally we're seeing the back of his head or something, or his hands.
Yeah.
But nobody's making sick jokes and whatever. Now he's quite quiet.
Well, that's why he keeps you around, I'm sure. So anyway, so what's your experience? You see the same things from your vantage point?
Yeah, we see with the export companies, they're merging as well, or just been taken over. So and growers are growing, groups are getting bigger, and actually that was the news this weekend, I think, that some of the rose farms in Holland are starting up their own auction, just as a protest on the Flora Holland auction.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be exciting.
Figuring out how to get besides the Flora Holland auction system, and not just roses. It's for more product.
but they want to do it physically, as opposed to online, or both.
No, I think it's not just the auction thing. It's also how they sell and how they do the invoicing and whatever of their product into the exporters.
There is one other thing going on here, Jhon, that's noteworthy. I think it's really more about next year than this year, perhaps. But the Americans are trying to do an initiative for a marketing order, for an advertising marketing order, where the importers and growers will be assessed a fee, much like perhaps like the Flower Council. I don't know, but it's all about promoting generic flowers, just flowers, not Colombian flowers, Ecuadorian flowers, American flowers, anybody. It's just to promote flowers. And that's been something that we had a little bit way back when. I don't. It was before your time, perhaps. Buzz the Bee. We had a little commercial. We had a guy dressed in a bee suit, and he would run around, and it was pretty successful. I don't know, but it sort of died. And ever since, there's been a couple of
fine success. It died.
The bee died.
Well, the bee lost his stinger. So.
Sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, they're trying to do it again. Apparently, there's a sort of a groundswell. Apparently, a lot of organizations are getting behind it. SAF and WFSA, I believe. I'm about to do an interview here in a week or so, trying to dig in a little deeper to find out what they're doing. And
thank you so much for watching this episode of Flower Circus Talks. Don't forget to subscribe and like for more Flower Circus Talks. We've got some great things coming up next year. Already the first project is coming up in January. So subscribe and like so you're the first one to know. And from all of us at Flower Circus, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hopefully we'll see each other soon, online and offline, so we can spread the floral fun and the love for flowers.
I hate to be rude, but I'm still going to be. If I have to, I have to get in shape with my figure. So my Christmas table is already finished, and we're going to enjoy our meal with our tiny family.
Any other things that brings that blah, blah, that's it's quite difficult sometimes. There's just a lot of Jhon.
It's always a lot of Jhon.
Oh, okay.
No matter what you do.
It's so easy to do some fat shaming at the end of the year, and I think it's not nice.
I mean, a lot of Jhon. There are two Jhons in the screen. That's why there's a lot of Jhon.
The truth is, an opinion is like an arsehole. Everybody has one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I bigger than another.
Moet je je even voorstellen met deeghoes. Jongen, kijk.
Wat is dat nou?
Het zijn een soort deeghoes zijn dat.
Deeghoes?
Huisdieren van mijn kinderen.
Oh, en eet je dat met kerst?
Is dat heet flappie?
Ja, moet je wel even groeien, anders is het...